Hello and welcome to the regular monthly meeting of the Board of Commissioners held for the purpose of transacting the general business of the township. Today's date is May 13, 2026. The meeting is being held in the Springfield Township building and is also being offered in a live streaming feature. The meeting will also be made available on the township's website beginning tomorrow morning. Comments will not be accepted remotely during the meeting, but instructions for submitting public comment in advance of tonight's meeting were provided as a part of the posted agenda. Mr. Taylor, could you summarize any public comment we received prior to this meeting?
No public comments were received.
Appreciate that. Given that, please stand and join the Board of Commissioners in a moment of silent reflection to honor the servicemen and women who place themselves in harm's way in order to help preserve our safety at home and overseas. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion dispensing with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting as written and recorded in the official minute book of the township. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Sorry. I'm just having a brain fart.
Questions or comments?
Any questions or comments?
You're doing great.
All right. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, do we have? Sorry, guys.
You're not going to get the record, do it?
Any?
If you're going for the record.
Brain flatulence.
All signify of those who, well, let me repeat this. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Please record a unanimous vote. I apologize, guys. We have a full quorum of the board here and grateful for that. So we're going to move right into announcements. First, we're going to announce that the Board of Commissioners conducted an executive session as part of our May 11, 2026 workshop meeting to discuss one personnel matter, one litigation matter, and one real estate matter. As a part of tonight's business meeting, the Board of Commissioners will conduct a public hearing on a proposed ordinance to amend Chapter 4, amusement devices, and Chapter 114 zoning of the Code of the Township of Springfield. The purpose of the proposed ordinance is to regulate the placement of amusement devices and skill games in our township. Any questions or comments related to the proposed ordinance should be held until the public hearing is conducted. I'd also like to announce that this is upcoming is National Public Works Week. National Public Works Week will be celebrated May 17 to May 23, 2026. That's next week. The Board of Commissioners recognize and commend the employees of the Springfield Township Public Works Department for your contributions to improve and maintain the township's infrastructure, ensure timely performance of essential services such as solid waste and recycling collection, and to respond to weather and other emergencies as needed. So I think a quick round of applause for our Public Works team. Thank you so much. Also next week will be the primary election day. Pennsylvania's primary election day will be held on May 19. On the ballot are races for governor and lieutenant governor, along with the entire Pennsylvania House and half of the state Senate. All of Pennsylvania's 17 congressional districts will also be up for election. Very exciting times. Locally, members of the Democratic and Republican parties will also vote for state and local committee persons. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. That is on Tuesday. Relatedly, in our township, all polling locations will remain mostly the same, with the exception of wards 2, 2, and 2, 3 in Winmore. If you previously voted at the Winmore Hose Company, your polling location has changed. The new location is across the street and slightly east at 1200 East Willow Grove Avenue at the Springfield Township Recreation Center Gymnasium Building. Please note that there already are 2 polling locations at the rec center, and there will now be 4. Wards 2-2 and 2-3 will vote in the gymnasium, while wards 5-1 and 5-2 will vote in the former Worship Hall Library, Building B. I'd also like to announce that they're upcoming on May 28 at 6 p.m. is the Cheltenham corridor study results. There, I believe, has been one public meeting. This is going to be a second public meeting, and we are the host. The first one was held at the Wadsworth Library and was highly attended, if you were not able to make it. And so at this meeting, we're anticipating to hear the results and suggestions by the team who did the Cheltenham corridor study. As you know, it's a partnership studying the corridor all the way from Philadelphia all the way down here to Paper Mill. And so please attend that. That is May 28th at 6 p.m. here in this room. Finally, I'd like to just do a couple of fun announcements, which is to recognize the Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, and hope that everyone takes some time to understand our Asian American history here in this country. I also want to make note of some big birthdays by some of our commissioners here this month. So we were just chatting about it earlier, and I would be remiss not to recognize the birthdays of Commissioners Jim Lee and Commissioner Ed Morris, who are going to be turning 21 later this month. And a belated Mother's Day to all those who celebrated this past weekend. I said finally, and I was just kidding. There's one more finally, a swimming pool pass for this summer. Last year, during our discussions with the Flowertown Country Club, we talked about a pool pass, and the Board of Commissioners is pleased to announce that a limited number of single-day swimming pool passes will be made available this summer for Springfield Township residents to obtain access to the Flowertown Country Club and the pool there. The passes will be made available for free at the Free Library of Springfield Township beginning June 15 and will run through September 4th. That's Labor Day weekend. The passes are not available on a few blackout dates, and they are June 20th, July 3rd through the 5th, and July 12th. And I just really excited to be able to announce that and appreciate the partnership we have with our vendor there to offer that to the community. At this time, we're going to be moving to the public portion of the meeting. We are now open to comments or questions from the public. The board draws particular attention to those items listed on the agenda this evening. Please be advised that once the committee reports begin, the board can no longer accept questions from the floor. At the conclusion of the committee reports, public comments will once again be accepted. However, official action on those issues listed on the agenda will have already taken place, and therefore, if you wish to comment on an agenda item, now would be the appropriate time. For those watching at home, there is not a member of the public in the room at the moment. Does our commissioners have any public comments in general? Hearing none, we are going to then move right into our special hearing. At this time, I'm going to accept a motion to suspend our May 13, 2026 business meeting of the Board of Commissioners in order to conduct a public hearing on proposed ordinance to amend Chapter 4 amusement devices and Chapter 114 zoning of the Code of the Township of Springfield.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Any questions or comments on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Please record a unanimous vote. At this time, I will now accept a motion to convene a public hearing on the proposed ordinance to amend Chapter 4 and Chapter 114 as listed.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Any questions or comments on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, please record a unanimous vote. At this time, I will now accept a motion to close.
No,
Well, just
not yet.
kidding. What am I doing? Running through, switching papers here. At this time, the public hearing is now open, and you're going to hear me talk for even longer. This is a public hearing to amend Chapters 4 amusement devices and 114 zoning of the Code of the Township of Springfield to regulate the placement of amusement devices and skill game machines. I'm going to be listing the purpose of the hearing, the legal requirements, making a summary. Our solicitor will be remarking to contextualize this ordinance, and then we'll go from there. First, the purpose of this hearing. The public hearing is being held in compliance with Section 609 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, the MPC, to consider zoning code text amendments to regulate the placement of amusement devices and skill game machines within Springfield Township. The legal requirements associated with the public hearing have been met by publishing a notice of the public hearing in the April 2nd and April 9, 2026 issues of the Chestnut Hill Local. In addition, public hearing notices were posted in the Township Building and Library and on the Township website. Copies of the full text ordinance were available in the Township Building, the Library, the offices of the Chestnut Hill Local, the Montgomery County Law Library, and the Township website. In summary, the proposed ordinance amends the code of the Township of Springfield, Chapter 4, amusement devices, by repealing and replacing the defined term for amusement device and by adding a new defined term for skill game, raising the annual license fee from $100 to $250 for each amusement device, repealing and restating the requirements for the area surrounding an amusement device, and setting forth age requirements for the supervision, use, and play of skill games. The ordinance also amends Chapter 114 of the code, that's the zoning code of our township, Article 2, definitions, by repealing and deleting the definition of amusement device and by adding new defined terms for convenience store, indoor recreation facility, skill game, and significant tobacco retailer. And by amending Article 9B1 Business District to clarify that retail uses are permitted in the district, and to amend Article 10B2 Business District to revise the term for indoor recreation facility, and to repeal Section 114-101.L concerning amusement devices, and to amend Article 11 Shopping Center District to clarify that retail uses are permitted in the district, to repeal existing regulations related to amusement devices, and to permit an indoor recreation facility by special exception, and to further amend Article 13 General Regulations to add a new subsection 114-139.4, now entitled Skill Games, by permitting skill games as an accessory use to a club, fraternal organization, convenience store, or restaurant licensed to serve alcoholic beverages by the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board. Now, that is our summary. I'm going to turn it over to our solicitor to add a little context to why we had to do this and what led us to this point thus far.
Thank you, Madam President. If you recall, in July 2024, the township enacted a zoning ordinance to regulate skill games in the township. Skill games, of course, are electronic gaming devices that look a lot like a slot machine, but they require an element of skill for there to be a payout. Skill games are currently a lawful use and are subject to regulation by municipalities through their zoning ordinances. The 2024 ordinance permitted skill games as a special exception, as an accessory use by special exception in the B2 and the S zoning districts in the township. After the ordinance was enacted in 2024 and went into effect, it came to light that perhaps the ordinance did not permit, in fact, skill games in a sufficient number of locations in the township. And there were also other discrepancies in the ordinance that were identified over time. These amendments are intended to address all of those issues, both in Chapter 4 of the Township Code as well as in your zoning ordinance. I think the summary that you just read characterizes the amendments quite well. There's a number of cleanup items there, but the key amendment is to allow skill games as a accessory use to a club, fraternal organization, convenience store, or restaurant with a liquor license up to 3 such devices in any of those particular uses.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Next, I'm going to discuss the Planning Commission reviews. First, regarding the Springfield Township Planning Commission's review in a letter dated April 8, 2026, the Springfield Township Planning Commission discussed the proposed ordinance at their meeting of April 7, 2026, and voted 6-0 to recommend approval of the ordinance with no material comments. In addition, the Montgomery County Planning Commission, under cover letter of April 2nd, 2026, the Montgomery County Planning Commission provided a review of the ordinance. The county recommended enactment of the ordinance with no material comments. So at this time, just want to remind everyone, we are holding the public hearing on the zoning code text amendments, and I will first take any questions, have some testimony from our board, and then we may call for a vote. So first, any questions from the board on the amendment? for what it's worth, we have spoken about this amendment ad nauseum, maybe 10 meetings at least, not to mention all those that I just read, the planning commissions and such. Any questions from those in the audience? All right. We still don't have any other individuals here for this particular matter. And finally, testimony from the board. I suppose that's unique and different from questions from.
Mhm.
I guess I made my testimony earlier without making any questions. And any testimony from those in the audience? All right, seeing none, I will now entertain a motion to close the public hearing related to ordinance number 984, amending chapters 4, amusement devices, and 114, zoning, to regulate the placement of amusement devices and skill game machines within Springfield Township and to reconvene the May 13, 2026 business meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, please record a unanimous vote to close the public hearing and reconvene our regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners. Thank you, everyone, for your patience as we work through that public hearing. At this time, we're going to be returning back to our regular meeting. And just, we had someone walk in during the middle of the meeting. We're going to go through the rest of our public meeting and there'll be an opportunity for a public comment at the end as well.
Did we do our initial public comment?
You did do
We
that.
did do that
you
before we
into
went
Yeah.
into
the hearing.
procedures.
Can we open that again?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Before you vote on anything, you may want to.
Sure.
Yeah, I would move that we open the public comment again to accommodate our visitor
All right.
before we vote on.
I'm not sure we need a motion to do that. Could just do that, right? So let's just open our public comment to allow our visitors to speak.
First thing I'd like to.
Just before, you need to come to the mic and just comment or say your name and generally where you are from in the township, and then please proceed.
Okay, hi, my name is Tim Hinkie, and I'm at 2104 Carrollton Way in Flowertown. The first thing I'd like to say is I really am impressed with the amount of public participation in our local government. It's really great. I'm just as guilty of it myself. It's the first time I've ever come here. Well, no, that's not true, but first time I've ever been in this building. At any rate, I was told I had to come before the commissioners with my issue, so I'm here. I am applying for a home equity loan, and the bank, in checking my background, said, "Oh, you have tax liens on your home." I said, "I do. I didn't know I had tax liens on my home." And they said, "Oh yeah, from 2008. And you didn't pay a garbage collection bill and a sewage bill." And I think the two of them combined were in the neighborhood of $1,500. And I said, "Okay, I did it. I had no clue. I mean, it's not like I haven't applied for other things of credit. My credit rating is like about 800, and I didn't know." So, but with interest, because it's from 2008, they said they put the lien on in 2014, and it took me weeks to track down who to even talk to about it. And then they said, "Well, you have to go before the committee and ask them if they would waive the penalties." And I filled out a petition thing, and I got a call from, I don't remember who it was in the township, but he was like, "Well, we don't do that." And I was like, "Well, but you can go before the commissioners anyway." I was like, "Oh, okay." I don't know. He said, "Well, we sent out mailings in 2011 and 2013. Again, I don't, if I would have known about this, obviously I would have paid it. I mean, I pay my taxes, and, I don't cause any trouble. And, I mean, I apply for a home equity loan, and they say, "Oh, you've got, lien." I didn't know. So I'm just asking, I'm happy to pay the old garbage bill. I didn't know. And if you would be so kind as to waive some of the interest, that would be great. If you tell me to go pound sand, then I guess I go pound sand. I don't know. That's why I'm here. I don't even know if I'm doing this right.
Thank you. I was just thinking, appreciate your time and thanks for, trying to figure it out and coming before us. We did actually discuss, this is an individual matter. I just don't necessarily think that perhaps we should have this discussion in this format. And so I wonder.
Yeah, we
if
would, I mean, we
perhaps
would negotiate in a public setting.
Yeah, so
Well, yeah, like when I came in the other day and asked about the meeting, the Jenna, I believe her name is, at the front desk, she go, "Oh, you have to leave a public comment." And I had typed the whole story up and I was about to hit submit and I was like, it feels like I'm like doxing myself or something, and like kind of like, oh, and it's like,
We're happy to hear any part of the story, and you've described it, and that's fine. We just wouldn't, negotiate back and forth.
I understand. They told me to go before the committee. I'm in front of the committee. Here I am.
thank you so much for taking your time and trying to sort it out. Why don't we follow up and if you.
Why don't you just give me a call?
You're off, Mike.
Michael Taylor? Okay.
That's me. Why don't you just give me a call tomorrow? And
Okay, which at the township number? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm really sorry to take up your time and with something, it's,
Oh, that's what it's.
For the record, sometimes the room has people.
I believe you. I've been here. I made myself, I got myself in the newspaper a couple times being here when they were when they wanted to put in the Home Depot. And the land use attorney for Federal Realty had a big whiteboard up on the thing. And my property had a red circle with a line through it. And he said, "This is the property that will be most impacted." I was like, that's me. And I was upset. So anyway, I did get in the news. So I have been here.
Coming in and trying to pursue it. It sounds like we have an avenue for you to deal with it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you trying to.
Thank you. I really do appreciate your time and listening to me about my, it's a small, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of a trivial matter, but it was, I wasn't trying to skirt my taxes. I didn't know about it.
Nothing's ever too trivial. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we're going to move right into our committee reports and we'll follow up with that item in short order. We'll move right into our committee reports, of which I am the first. So you get to continue to listen to me for a very long time. So I will be making the report of the Community Development Committee. And once again, we will turn our attention to ordinance number 984, amusement devices and skill games. At this time, I move that the Board of Commissioners enact ordinance number 984, an ordinance amending the code of the Township of Springfield, Chapter 4, Amusement Devices, and Chapter 114, zoning, to regulate the placement of amusement devices and skill games. In summary, the ordinance repeals, adds, and amends certain defined terms, clarifies certain uses that are permitted as uses by right and by special exception in the B1 and shopping districts, and permits skill games as an accessory use to any club, fraternal organization, convenience store, or restaurant licensed to serve alcoholic beverages by the PA Liquor Control Board. That is my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments on the motion and on this topic in general once more? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, please record a unanimous vote. Next, regarding the Building Code Board of Appeals, I move that the Board of Commissioners appoint Timothy M. O'Kane of Winmore to fill an unexpired term of service as a member of the Springfield Township Building Code Board of Appeals. The Building Code Board of Appeals hears and rules on all appeals regarding decisions made by the municipal building code official concerning the Pennsylvania Uniform Construction Code, the UCC. Mr. O'Kane's term of service shall expire April 15, 2029. That is my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments on the motion?
I'll just comment that Mr. O'Kane did show up on Monday and we were able to interview him. He has a great background with a lot of relevant expertise, and he is a resident of the township, which was not a requirement, but I think it's a nice thing to have somebody who is going to care as much about the township as he would as a resident here.
Thank you, and I agree. All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, please record a unanimous vote. Next, we will be moving, and that concludes my report. We'll be moving to the report of Commissioner Jim Lee, Chairman of the Administrative, Fiscal Affairs, and Zoning Committee.
Thank you, Madam President. Two items this evening. First, I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the April check reconciliation in the amount of $829,446.19 and the May bill listing in the amount of $788,734.16. That is my motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. And all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, please record a unanimous vote.
Second item, I would like to announce that the Springfield Township Zoning Board will meet on, Zoning Hearing Board will meet on Monday, May 18th, 2026, 7 p.m. at the Springfield Township Building to receive testimony on the following application. Case number 26-11, the application of Kara and Ronald White, owners of the property located at 517 Gresham Valley Road in Winmore. The applicants seek approval to construct an addition to the front of the home that would encroach 10 feet into the required 40-foot front yard setback area. Property is zoned within the A residential district of Ward 5 of the township. Copies of the application packet are available for review in the Community Development Office during normal business hours, located here at the admin building at 1510 Paper Mill Road, or on our website at springfieldmontco.org. Any questions you may have can be addressed by contacting the zoning department at 215-836-7600, extension 1114. And I will note that that May 18th meeting is 1 week prior to the normal date in order to avoid conflict with Memorial Day, the following Monday. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Lee. Next, we have Commissioner May, Chairman of the Environmental Resources Committee.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll begin with the recycling report. During the month of May 2026, or no, would it be the month of April?
Month of April.
The month of April 2026, Springfield Township residents recycled 153.77 tons of material with a householder participation rate of 45.4%. The net cost for the month was $18,843.32. Next, regarding plastic bags, the Board of Commissioners would like to remind residents that single-use plastic bags are not suitable for recycling as part of the township's curbside recycling collection program. In addition, plastic bags and can liners should not be used to place recyclables out for collection by township crews. Plastic bags slow the sorting process speeds at material recovery facilities, which increases processing costs paid by the township. Residents are encouraged to recycle their plastic bags at drop-off locations presently found at the local Acme and Giant supermarkets, and to avoid placing their materials out for collection using plastic trash bags or can liners. And then next, I have a motion regarding the Environmental Advisory Commission. I move that the Board of Commissioners appoint Beth Zalaski of Winmore to fill an unexpired term of service as a voting member of the Springfield Township Environmental Advisory Commission. The Environmental Advisory Commission advises and promotes education about issues relating to the management, use, and protection of our local environment. Ms. Zalaski's term of service shall expire June 14th, 2028. That is my motion.
Sorry, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Any questions or comments?
I would just add that Ms. Zalaski also was here on Monday, and she brings an incredible wealth of expertise and has been very active with the AC for some time now. And so it's really just more of a formalization of the kind of activity she's been engaging in voluntarily for some time.
Sure. She's also a running member of the Friends, a founding member of the Friends of Mermaid Park. So a lot of crossover between parks and EAC.
Friend of Mermaid Park is a friend to me.
It's a friend to us. All right. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, please record a unanimous vote.
That will conclude my report. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Commissioner May. Next, we move to Commissioner McNamara, Chairman of the Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, Madam President. I have one motion and one announcement this evening. I move that the Board of Commissioners amend the Springfield Township Code, Section 107-32.A, Schedule 9, parking prohibited, by creating prohibited parking zone on the east side of Terminal Avenue from its intersection with Montgomery Avenue to a point 50 feet northerly thereof. The aforementioned parking restriction will address an unsafe condition created when vehicles are parked too close to the intersection. That is my motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments on the motion?
I would like to comment. I would note that this is a compromise of a larger no parking zone recommended by the police, and the 50-foot restriction would only remove one parking spot. Typically.
All right. I'd also like to comment that it's nice that it stops at a point where a logical stopping point. I think it merges and funnels into
Yeah.
a smaller spot. So
Yeah.
appreciate working on that. All right. Seeing no further comment, oh, go ahead.
Was there any further comment from the police since that was discussed on Monday?
So yeah, that's why we arrived at the 50-foot instead of the 91-foot. Sergeant Hart was asked to go out and revisit the recommendation, and he marked off on the curb 20 foot, 50 feet, and 91 feet, and also spoke with the homeowner at that location. And the homeowner was ambivalent as to, what the recommendation was. He would have been fine with any of them. And we communicated that back to Commissioner Goldberg, who was support of the 50-foot requirement.
Right. And I spoke to the homeowner as well. So we're all
I
good.
think we're good.
We're all good with the exception of
I mean,
a general concern about lack of parking due to the bus drivers, but
And the initial concern really was about the turn onto that road.
right.
That this was.
But a separate related concern is that the bus drivers who go to the bus depot do park in the neighborhood, and some people feel that robs them of parking spaces. But yeah, that's not the issue that we're talking about today.
All right. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Please record a unanimous vote.
Next, the Springfield Township Police Department and the Board of Commissioners have launched a collaborative public safety forum to share information with the public and to provide a community space for discussion and feedback regarding policing and public safety in the township. The forums will also allow for in-person engagement with police officers to enhance knowledge and understanding of law enforcement roles and responsibilities. The next public safety forum will be held on Thursday, June 18th at 7 p.m. in the Springfield Township Building and will feature a presentation on traffic, speed education, and enforcement. Additional forums are planned as follows: Thursday, September 17th, preventing vehicle theft and thefts from vehicles, and again on Thursday, December 17th, with a focus on crimes against the elderly and care-dependent people. Each forum will conclude with a question and answer session and an informal meet and greet with members of the police department and other public officials. Please refer to the township's website and social media platforms for additional information as each forum date approaches. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner McNamara. At this time, we'll move to Commissioner Morris, Chairman of the Cultural Resources Committee.
It is that time of year again where we get to announce the Friends of the Library, and they will be conducting their annual used book sale on Saturday, May 30th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Free Library of Springfield Township. A large selection of gently used fiction and nonfiction books will be available for donations of $2 for hardback books and $1 for paperback books. No credit card payments will be accepted. And that concludes my announcement.
Thank you, Commissioner Morris. Now to Commissioner Goldberg, Chairman of the Parks and Recreation Resources Committee.
Thank you, Madam President. I have three motions. The first relates to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. I move that the Board of Commissioners reappoint Brian Sokol and Charles Watley to new 3-year terms of service as members of the Springfield Township Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. The new terms of service shall expire May 12th, 2029. I would also like to congratulate Kadar Moore, a senior at Springfield Township High School, on his upcoming graduation. Mr. Moore has served as one of the 2 student representatives to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee since September 2025, offering a youth perspective to new and existing programs and recreational needs. The Board of Commissioners thanks Mr. Moore for contributing his time and talents to the Springfield Township community. Upon Mr. Moore's graduation, a vacancy will exist as a non-voting student representative on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. Interested candidates must be a resident of Springfield Township and enrolled as either a sophomore, junior, or senior in the high school. Candidates are asked to send a letter of interest to the attention of the township manager, 1510 Paper Mill Road, Windmore, PA. That is my motion.
All right, I was just going to say, let's return to the motion regarding the reappointment of Mr. Sokol and Mr. Watley to their new 3-year terms of service. There has been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, please record a unanimous vote. And just quickly congratulate Kedar on his graduation. And, he contributed greatly, attended diligently, and
He really did.
I think it's going to be great to continue the tradition of having some stagger terms at Parks and Rec by the youth perspective. And so look forward to seeing anyone submit their application for that position as
I
well.
would note I saw Kedar's name among the leaderboard in various track and field events for Springfield High School. I think he's advancing to the regionals or states, wherever they're going to next, but he's pretty accomplished in that area too.
Wonderful. And I guess I should note that someone asked, I do intend to attend the graduation. And so hopefully we'll have a chance to shake his hand then. And if my fellow commissioners will join me, please do. Just as my first term as president, I thought I would go and do that. We've never expected anyone to do that, but you're always most welcome, it seems. All right.
Great.
Carry on, Rob.
Okay, so the second motion relates to a special event permit at Veterans Park. I move that the Board of Commissioners grant permission to the Arthur B. Savage American Legion Post of Windmore to utilize Veterans Park for a Community Day event following the annual Memorial Day Parade and to serve beer at the park as part of the event.
Aye.
We haven't gotten there yet.
The permission is granted subject to the following. The American Legion Post secures a permit from the Parks and Recreation Director for the use of the park. The American Legion Post hires a police detail officer to be at the park while beer is served. And the American Legion Post secures an insurance rider for the day's events, naming Springfield Township as an additional insured. Memorial Day 2026 will be observed on Monday, May 25th, 2026. The parade will begin on Willow Grove Avenue near Elm Avenue at 9:30 a.m. and end at Queen Street and Willow Grove Avenue. Following the parade, a remembrance ceremony will be held at approximately 11:15 a.m. at the Veterans Park Memorial. The Community Day activities will be held from approximately 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Veterans Park. In addition to the Memorial Day activities that take place in Windmore, a memorial service will be held at the Flowertown Erdenheim Veterans Memorial at 12:15 on Memorial Day. The Veterans Memorial is located on the 1400 block of Bethlehem Pike across from the Black Horse Inn. That is my motion.
All right, we have a motion. Do I have a second? Any questions or comments?
I do. Commissioner Goldberg, have we any idea whether the hot dogs will be boiled or grilled this year?
I'm really hoping that they'll be grilled. I don't know if they'll be boiled, but it would be, I think, a problem if it's
For
boiled.
what it's worth, my husband did want to make a note that he prefers a boiled hot dog. And I
Really?
said, you take that up with society.
With ketchup?
No, with mustard. So split the difference on that, or split the baby, as people keep trying to say.
But I do have a comment about
Yes.
the parade is actually kind of a moving event, and I would recommend that if you haven't been to it, you might want to check it out. And the beer afterwards kind of is a nice plus.
Does the beer also move you,
Yes,
Mr. Goldberg?
and the hot dogs are free. So, as well as the beer. Yeah.
Noted. I will
Big
say.
beans will also move you.
I also intend to attend the Memorial Day Parade, and I believe we have someone who might zip us around,
Yeah.
Commissioner Morris.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. So if any of my fellow commissioners would like to join us, and I take this moment to acknowledge that volunteers, as we discussed on Monday, are hard to come by more and more for civic groups such as these who put on such memorable events that people want to attend, that will, really contributes to the memories of not just young children like those of us who have young children do, but to families all around. I know people come into town and back into town from all over just to be sure to celebrate with this parade. So just want to encourage people to attend, as Commissioner Goldberg said, and our fellow commissioners to join us. There's been a motion, there's been a second. Questions and comments concluded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, please record a unanimous vote to do the parade and celebrate Commissioner Lee's and Commissioner Morris's 30th birthdays. All right. Carry on, Ms. Commissioner.
Okay, and my final motion relates to the next play, Summer Basketball League. I move that the Board of Commissioners waive the requirement that 75% of the participants in a league utilizing township facilities are Springfield Township residents, in order that the next play, Summer Basketball League, may utilize the basketball courts at McKelvey Park. The waiver is granted for the use of the facility in accordance with a request to utilize the facility on specified dates beginning Monday, June 22 through Thursday, August 13, 2026. Use of the facilities is limited to 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. The next play basketball league has operated successfully under similar conditions since 2021. That is my motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
I would comment just that, Next Play does offer discounts to Springfield Township residents. So there is an effort to really try to recruit Springfield Township residents. And then just in this day and age, finding good summer leagues is difficult. I know if such a league was around when my son was young, both my sons were young enough, it would have been great to have access to it. As it was, they were traveling all the way out to Lower Gwynedd to find a summer league out there. So, while we are acquiescing to that 75% limit, the reality is I feel like we're doing a service to the township by allowing this and, creating some access for our children right here in the community.
Yeah, I would say it seems like it's a great program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, please record a unanimous vote. Before you conclude your report, Commissioner Goldberg, I just want to mention in the same vein, I saw that there is an adult field day being hosted by our Parks and Rec department. And so if anyone would like to do an adult field day, please, I will happily join you. But just to note that the more and more is hard to find things to do just to be out and about, much like these leagues. And so appreciate these
Ambulance company
opportunities.
be on site.
Yeah.
We'll be doing the adult field day is to celebrate Commissioner Lee and Commissioner Morris's 25th birthday.
We might want to revisit the defibrillator conversation we had.
Right.
All right.
That concludes my report.
All right. I appreciate you, Commissioner Goldberg. Next, we're going to move to the Chairman of the Public Works and Facilities Committee, Commissioner Kirk.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have two items for the board's consideration tonight. First is a motion related to the sale of used vehicles and equipment. Section 1501.2 of the Pennsylvania First Class Township Code sets forth the regulations for the sale of township personal property via electronic auction. The Springfield Township Fleet Supervisor has recommended the sale of several used vehicles that will be retired as part of the township's vehicle replacement schedule in 2026. Therefore, I move that the Board of Commissioners authorize the sale of the following vehicles and equipment via the Municipid online public auction site: a 2008 International 7400 dump truck, 2011 International refuse truck, 2015 Chevrolet K3500 dump truck, 2016 Chevrolet Tahoe SUV, 2019 Chevrolet Tahoe SUV, 2022 Ford Explorer SUV, and miscellaneous equipment valued at less than $1,000. Property valued in excess of $2,000 will be advertised for sale in the Chestnut Hill Local at least 10 days prior to the ending date for the auction. That is my motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, please record a unanimous vote.
My second item is a motion related to Black Horse Inn Suite F. I move that the Board of Commissioners authorize the Township Manager to execute a multiple listing agreement with Dan Helwig, Inc. to market and secure tenants for Office Suite F at the Black Horse Inn, 1432 Bethlehem Pike, Flowertown. Pursuant to the terms of the agreement, Dan Helwig Realtor shall serve as the Township's broker and agent and shall receive compensation during the term of the agreement in an amount equal to 1 month's rent, which shall be shared with any cooperating broker pursuant to the terms of the agreement. The agreement shall expire September 20th, 2026. That is my motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments on the motion? All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, please record a unanimous vote.
That, Madam Chairman, will conclude my report.
All right, at this time, the board is now reopened for public comment. Once again, there is no one in the room, so at this time, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, please record a unanimous vote, and we are complete. See you next month.
Yeah.